Hello, and welcome to Vajrabody Presents Mobility for Meditators, an easy 30-minute routine to help you sit more comfortably in meditation posture. We're going to start today from the ground up, working on our ankles to begin with. Hug your right knee to your chest, point your big toe away from you, turn it in, make a circle around and down. We're going to do 4 circles in each direction, trying to trace as big of a circle with our big toe as we can. Then we're going to switch directions on that same foot, really taking time as you explore the corners. If you feel any pain as you do this, just make the circle a little bit smaller. But if you're not experiencing any pain, make the circle as big as your ankle has the ability to. Then we're going to switch to the other side. Following the same setup, hugging the knee to the chest, point your toe away from you, pull it towards you, and repeat the process again. Reminding yourself to breathe. You can even close your eyes as you do this, so you can really feel just the ankle turning in as big of a circle as it can. Breathing and making big circles with the foot. In our next drill, we're going to be addressing rotation from the hip joint, one at a time. So starting off on all fours with your hips above your knees, your shoulders above your wrists. We're going to make basically a giant circle with your knee. So pulling your right knee up towards your right elbow, off to the side, up towards the sky, around and down. Then all we do is reverse that. Coming back up to the sky with the knee, out to the side, up towards the elbow. As you continue to do this, make sure that both arms stay locked out the whole time. Many people will try to cheat through hip rotation by bending the elbow. We want to make this as big of a circle through only the hip joint as possible. Let's do one more time on this side, remembering to breathe. All the way up, around, and down. As you work on these 3 circles, make each subsequent circle a little bit bigger in your range of motion. After you've done 3 on your right side, simply turn around over to the other side and let's do the same thing with our left. Arms locked out, shoulders away from your ears. You're going to pull your left knee up towards the elbow, off to the side, up to the sky, back and down. Then we reverse back up to the sky, off to the side, up towards the elbow, back and down. Remind yourself to breathe as you continue making each circle a little bit bigger than the last. One more, last time, up, to the side, around, and down, and reverse that, continuing to breathe calmly. For our next drill, we're going to address the hip from a standing position. So with your feet wider than your hips, put your hands on your side, shift your hips back, to the left, forward, over to the right, and back again. We're going to make that circle really, really big, paying careful attention to exploring the corners of your hips. That's often where the tightness lies. Then we're going to switch directions, same idea, keeping everything except the hips nice and relaxed as your tailbone makes as big of a circle as you possibly can. Great. Now we're going to address the tissue of the neck. So starting from a standing position, tuck your chin to your collarbone. Then bringing your chin off to the left, slowly up towards the sky as you make a big circle around over to your right collarbone, and then drag your chin along your chest back and down. We're going to continue for another circle in the same direction. All the way up, around and down, again trying to keep the motion just at the neck itself. Then let's switch the direction, going off to the right, circling up towards the sky with your teeth slightly touching each other so you get a nice stretch in the front of the neck. Last time, breathing as you do this, up towards the sky, over to the left, back, and down. Excellent. Now let's start to work on making circles with the spine. We're going to start from a standing position. Cross your arms across your chest, rounding the back, and then we're going to bend off to the left, side bending, making a circle into a back bend as we look up, back over to the right side, back and down. Again, same direction, breathing as you do this, making a pain-free circle as big as your spine has the ability to rotate. Then we're going to reverse, back to the right, into a back bend, breathing around and down again, all the way over, up, around, and back. That should feel like a really nice massage through those tight upper shoulders and back. And now we begin our primary mobility series. For our first drill, we're going to start off on all fours. Then, take your left leg and bring it out to the side, nice and straight to the extent that you can. Now, from this position, we're going to gently rock back towards our back heel. Our back foot is pointed. We're looking for a big stretch throughout the left inner thigh. Rocking back, exhaling as you rock back. Hold there for a second, breathe in as you come forward. Exhale back. Big deep breath as you come forward. Feel free to adjust to make this more comfortable for you. Now we're just going to hold in the back position, as far back as your butt can get towards your heel. Take 5 big deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Every time relaxing deeper into the stretch. Slowly make your way up, and then we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Right leg extends out to straight. Your hands find a comfortable position about shoulder width. Looking forward with an upright chest, you're going to rock back and then rock forward. Exhaling as you rock back into the stretch. Inhaling as you get some relief forward and you feel those shoulder blades turn on. Exhale back, pushing back as far as you can. One more time. Inhale forward and exhale back. Now, we're just going to stay here. 5 big deep breaths. Letting go of any tension you're feeling in that right inner thigh as you rock your butt lower towards the ground each time. Letting go of the tension. And slowly make your way back up to all fours. And now we come to one of the most important stretches to work on if you're trying to sit more comfortably in a cross-legged meditation posture. The seated pigeon stretch. So lift up your right leg, cross it over your left, right behind your left knee. And then you're just going to get nice and tall, relaxing the shoulder blades down as you pull your chest and your belly button forward. Don't take this stretch to the point that you feel any pinching or pain, but a big stretch in the outside of your right hip is totally fine. That's what we're trying to go for. While we're here, I want you to slowly twist your belly button to the right. Your whole torso twists, and you're going to feel a greater intensity in the stretch when you get into this position. Take some deep breaths, and every time you exhale, let that tension go. Do the same thing, twisting the other way, so your belly button twists to the left. that right hand gives a gentle push down to extend the stretch. Then we're going to turn back to the center, get nice and tall, and again lean straight forward. So as you continue to hold this stretch, feel free to twist right and left, whichever direction gives you a deeper expression of that right outside of hip stretch. As I like to remind my clients, the body does not change quickly. It takes time to create a lasting change in the tissue, especially of the hip. So holding a stretch for 20 or 30 seconds has never made anybody more flexible, which is why we're spending so much time here. And now at the end, we're going to add a muscular contraction. I want you to push up with your bottom leg into your non-moving hands. So you're creating tension with that leg, trying to push straight up into your hands. And then pull away from your hands, okay? So we're using the muscles of the hip to pull the knee down towards the ground, as much intensity as you can handle without any pain. Great, now let's switch sides. The setup on this side, exactly the same as the other. You cross your left leg over your right, hug your foot and your knee as you slowly lean your chest forward. The further you lean forward, especially with a flat back, the more intense that stretch is going to be. Really here at the beginning as you're settling in, try to connect your breath with the stretch. Every time you exhale, your nervous system lets go a little bit, so let's use that exhale to your advantage. Now begin to twist your belly button to the left, exploring the intensity of the stretch. Maybe you turn a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more turn is too much for you. I want you to stay in a comfortable range of about 6, 7, 8 on the intensity scale of the stretch. Never take a stretch to a 9 or a 10. And then we're going to turn the other way. For some people, when they turn away from the knee, the stretch is a lot more intense. For other people, it's less intense. I want you to explore on your own. Back to the center. A few rounds of breathing as you reach straight forward. Always increase the intensity of the stretch by pushing a little bit harder with that left hand on your left knee. Again, bowing the stretch left and right. And now for our isometric contraction. I want you to push straight up into your non-moving hands. Hold that contraction, building the intensity, pushing straight up. Hold, 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 feeling your inner thigh muscle turn on. And then we're going to do just the opposite by pulling away from the hand. So as you push down towards the floor, the outside of your left hip should really turn on. Keep holding, keep breathing, and slowly help yourself out of there. Great job. Seated pigeon. Now we're going to work one of my favorite movements that works as a counter posture to the chronically hunched forward position that most of us live in. This is called the Sphinx pose because you look like a sphinx on the ground. So we're not going to let our shoulder blades sag. We're going to push the shoulders down and back, pushing your chest away from the floor. And then from this position, all I'm going to have you do, leading with your eyeballs, is look up towards the sky and then down towards your belly button. We're going to slowly alternate through this, looking up, looking back down again, letting go of any tension you feel in the back of your neck as you look down. I like to coordinate this with the breath just to get a little bit more relaxation going. So as you look up, you're going to inhale and then let it all go on an exhale as you look down. Now we're going to switch to side. So relax your shoulder blades for a bit to release some of that tension. Then go back up to your active scapula. And then all we're going to do is look over our left shoulder, twisting the spine, and then look over the right. Again, see if this motion can be led with your eyes, and then the neck follows suit along that same plane. Each time you turn, you're trying to look a little further than the time you did before. If you're experiencing any pinching in your neck, don't look any further than that. That's your end range. Good. A couple more times. Look and look, feeling that nice gentle twist through the spine. And now we come to one of the best full body stretches that you can possibly do, the pretzel stretch. You're going to lay down on your back, propping your head up with a couple pillows. Pull your left knee up into your chest, and then bring it across your body to rest either on the ground or a slight prop up of the pillow. Grab your rib cage and then twist your body without letting your knee leave the ground. So we're opening the upper spine, the thoracic spine. Now for the fun part. Slowly try to peel up your right leg so that you can get a clasp on it with your hand. Pinning down the knee that's pulled towards your chest, you're going to pull that heel towards your butt and slowly start to rotate into this position. As you look to the left with your eyes in your chest, I want you to try to just let go of tension on your out breath. I've noticed over the years that this stretch will cause people to shallow breathe. I want you to notice if that's what you're doing and try to consciously deepen your breath while you're in this position. Shallow breathing might actually be what's keeping you tight as opposed to the stretch itself. So deepening that breath as you hold in this position. For some people, this stretch is much more intense in the front of their leg, and for others, the intensity lies in the rotation of the spine. Over time, as the stretch deepens and your body begins to relax in this position, I want you to try to continue to rotate. And if your neck feels like it's tight, if it feels a little cramped or pinched, you can feel free to move it around as long as you stay in the stretch. We're almost done with this side. A few deeper breaths as you try to peel your body open to the left. Excellent. Slowly unravel, because as you get out of there, sometimes you can feel a lot of tightness. And now for the pretzel on the other side. Again, laying down on the ground, comfortably propping up your neck, pull your right knee this time up to your chest and over onto a bolster. The higher the bolster, the more comfortable it's going to be for you. Slowly start to twist the rib cage to find your set position. And then, with the right hand, you're going to grab your left foot. It may take a little while to finagle yourself into that position, but once you get it, you'll know that you got it. You're going to put your left hand onto your right knee to keep it pinned to the floor as you let gravity open your right chest up towards the ceiling or the sky, twisting deeper into the stretch. Especially with this stretch, it's best to give yourself some time before you start to look for the end ranges of motion. Feel free to reclasp, get a different position to help your body feel more comfortable. If you get any kind of pinching or pain, immediately get out of it, give yourself a rest, and then attempt to get back into it after you've had that sensation subside. It often helps me to try to turn my neck in this position because the top of the cervical spine does affect your middle back and your lower back, which will help deepen that twist. Again, if you've noticed any pinching or compression in the neck, you can feel free to just turn your head left and right to release some of that sensation. As you breathe and relax into this in the last little bit, you may notice that one side was tighter than the other. That's totally normal. Everybody I've ever worked with is asymmetrical to a certain extent. And now you can release the foot as you extend the leg and carefully roll back onto your back, sitting up in your own time. moving on to the butterfly stretch. With your back placed against a wall, especially if you struggle with flexibility, you're going to bring both of the bottoms of your feet together and then pull them towards your hips. From this position, I want you to let your shoulders relax down and back as you actively try to pull your knees wider apart from each other, down towards the ground, pushing down in an active way. At the same time, we're going to try to get tall through the spine, reaching the crown of the head up towards the sky. And as you settle in here, you can start to alternate actively pushing the knees down towards the ground and then releasing the active pull down and just let gravity pull you down. This position naturally lends itself to gravity opening and spreading those inner thighs, so you can let gravity do the work and then every once in a while alternate with a contraction down towards the floor. And just as we did with our other long hold stretches, you can begin to twist your belly button left and right, maybe even try to pull forward as you twist left and right. Feeling this out, whichever gives you the most stretch. And also try to arch the back and round the back, and notice how shifting the position of your spine drastically affects the stretch that you're feeling. And now to finish this off with our isometric contraction. Leaning off to your left side, you're going to take your hand and put it on the inside of your right knee. Then with your legs, start to push up into your hand, gradually increasing the intensity until you're pushing at a maximum contraction. You should really feel those right inner thigh muscles turning on as you try to push up into your non-moving hand. And now we're going to pull away, down away from the hand towards the floor, actively pulling your right knee down towards the ground. Try to hold it there in whatever amount of opening you can manage to get. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Lean off to the right, take your left hand on the inside of the left knee, and start to push up against the non-moving left hand. Gradually increasing the intensity. Now you're going about as hard as you can without any pain, pushing straight up, and then pull down away from the hand, opening that left knee as wide as it will go down towards the floor. Keep pulling down, and now 2 breaths. Both knees pulling down, down, down. And slowly help yourself up as you return to a seated position. And now we've reached the final stretch in our primary mobility series, the cross-legged forward fold. So with your left leg in front in a simple cross-legged position, just reach forward. You want to make sure that the back remains as flat as possible without rounding. So you can even think lead with the chest as you arch your spine forward. Every breath letting some of that tension release. You can start to think tailbone back as you reach your chest forward. That cue often helps people deepen the stretch, releasing that left hip. Widening your hands will affect the intensity of the stretch, so start to experiment with which hand position feels the best for you as you continue to keep the chest up without rounding down. Finding a focal point straight in front of you tends to help keep that chest up. Every exhale, a little bit more release. Feel free to pull the neck down if it's been uncomfortable to hold it up there. The longer you hold here, the more those hips will start to let go. And you'll be able to inch your fingertips forward just a little bit more. But if you've reached the maximum range that your back or your hips are allowing you to go, just deeply breathe from that position. Slowly beginning to rise up, you can check in and see if maybe you've earned yourself a few extra inches or so in that forward position at the same time the tailbone is reaching back. So you have two lines of motion, one pulling forward, the other pulling back, stretching your hips. Feel free to completely tuck your neck, maybe even letting your forehead rest on the floor, or if you can't reach the floor, even a pillow. That'll help you find more relaxation in this position. And slowly pull yourself up, and then we're going to repeat on the other side. Same setup, except this time your right leg is in front of your left. Start with a tall spine, reaching your chest forward as you anchor your tailbone onto the floor. Every breath buys you a few extra inches. And feel free to twist your torso, twist your rib cage, whatever position is going to give you a really nice stretch. You can really hunt for this, for exactly where you need this the most. Rooting down through the hips as you reach forward with the chest. Feel free to explore different positions with your neck while we're here, so it doesn't get stiff, and maybe you could even get some nice stretches while you're here through the neck. Keep relaxing and trying to slowly crawl those fingers forward. We want this to be a slightly active stretch. We're not completely passive. We're doing a little extra work to earn some greater range of motion. Keep letting go deeper into the right hip stretch. Every exhale. A few more deep breaths here. Tucking the chin to lengthen the neck. Releasing any excess tension in your mind or your body on every exhale. Enjoy your breathing while we're here. And slowly pull yourself back up, returning to cross-legged position. Thanks so much for joining me for Vajrabody Presents Mobility for Meditators. Please feel free to email any questions you may have to vajrabodyfitness@gmail.com.